Morning, everybody. This is Michelle with Fun in Key West, and welcome back to another episode of First Timer Friday. This is where we try to, or I try to highlight some interesting aspects of Key West or the Florida Keys that maybe somebody as a first timer would want to experience or know about. Some tips and ideas and things like that. And today we're talking spring break in Key West. Now, I'm not here to say spring break in Key West is the place to go for spring break. And I'm also here to say, though definitively, it is not an organized place for spring break. So Key West is not your place to go if you're looking for one of those organized chaos places for spring break. But Key West is a really cool place to go for spring break if you do it responsibly because, you know, I love being in Key West, and I don't want to be there when there's all the chaos. And so Key West is a place to go not only for kids during the spring break of school, but maybe adults. You've got a break in between your winter season and your summer season. And it's also a place to go for, college students. But I always preface it. It's yes, it's a party town, but it's not a wild girls go gone wild place. So, obviously, why would you consider Key West in spring break? Well, the warm weather, first and foremost, the average temperature during spring break is way warmer than anywhere else that you're going to find. You don't need a passport. You can drive in and out. You can fly in and out. So Key West is, a great location to go between that winter and summer place. It's famous for live music, it's famous for its water activities and its water sports. And of course, there's no place better for nightlife than Key West, in my opinion. And so the southernmost city offers unique attractions. You've got, the southernmost point, and you've got these just fully embraceable Concord Public vibes. So now that I've sold you on why you need to be in Key West for spring break, what can you expect to do here in Key West during spring break? Well, obviously, you're going to be out on the water or outdoors because the weather's going to be fabulous. You can go snorkeling, you can go scuba diving. There's all these coral reefs you can explore. If you're like me and you don't really swim that well and getting in the water isn't your vibe, take a glass bottom boat tour. Get to see it, get out on the water, do all of that. You can go jet skiing, you can go paddle boarding, you can go parasailing. There's the beaches. Now, I always preface this. Key West is not known for the beaches. Yes, there are beaches. There's Fort Zachary, there's Smathers Beach, there's Higgs Beach, but it's not known for its beaches. There isn't like, this rolling waves that come in and you can go boogie boarding. But it is a great place just to see the water, relax, and touch sand. Water sports and outdoor sports, maybe, you've done them and you want to go do something else. Of course, you can explore the historic seaport. I don't know about you, but I like wandering through there, looking at all the boats and the shops. And then you've got the cool little restaurants you can pop in and out of. Of course, you have the Ernest Hemingway house. You can go check out the six-toed cats. Take the tour, really take the tour. Hear the story of the pool. You can't beat that. And across from the Hemingway house is the Lighthouse. And I really like the Lighthouse Hotel across the street there. They have this funky little bar. If you go in, you don't have to be, staying there to go to this bar. But you head back into the Lighthouse bar and the hotel bar, and it's just this vibe, this cool. They've got a great bartender. She does amazing craft cocktails. So I just like it because it's not usually very busy. It has this cool vibe. You're just off the beaten path, and it's a real quiet place to go. Obviously, if you are experiencing Key West for the first time and it happens to be spring break, I'm going to say it because I say it every time. Mallory Square Sunset Celebration. Go at least once, experience it, do it. Starts about an hour before sunset, goes in for about an hour after sunset. There's all kinds of performers, and just seeing the sun drop is just amazing. And of course, that is going to be the section of Key West called Old Town. And so Old Town Key West charm is just undeniable. There's no skyscrapers, there's no big buildings except for the La Concha Hotel, which happens to be the largest, tallest private building in Key West. And of course, you've got the nightlife. So after you see the sunset, you can head down to Duval and check out all of the nightlife. You've got dancing and music. You can hit the touristy places. Although you've heard me say it, I don't know how many times, that Sloppy Joe's is not a touristy place. I think it's a cool place to go. But you've got live music from morning till night there. Of course, you're going to try key lime pie and check out all the food scene. And I encourage you, if you want to explore the food side of Key West, take a food tour. And if you're bringing, if you're bringing kids, younger kids, to Key West during spring break, don't be afraid to. Honestly, I think Key West is a great place to bring kids. You have the aquarium, you have the Mel Fisher Museum, you have the Shipwreck Museum, you have Fort Zach. They can explore the fort. They can learn the history of Key West and visit the oldest house and see all these places and be able to visualize what life was like, because Key West really hasn't changed a whole lot in terms of how it's laid out, other than, we've filled in some places like Mallory Square. But the history of, the railroad coming in and the Cuba connection. And so, you've got a lot of history that you can expose the kids to. You also have the Hemingway House. You have Tennessee Williams Museum. So if they're into literary, there's that connection. And of course, you've got all the water sports and the outdoor things that you can do. And of course, you can go up the Keys and explore Bay of Honda and see the key deer. And I mean, there's just so much to do. I think it's a rich place to take kids for spring break. Now, I am not going to endorse a specific hotel or resort, but here's my caveat to all of that for spring break. First and foremost, most places do not encourage or let you book large groups specifically for spring break. It just doesn't happen because they're trying to control the crowds and all of that. So that's why there's usually age restrictions on some places to check in, especially if you're doing Airbnb or Vrbo. You're going to want to check on those age restrictions. How old do you have to be to check in? And they're going to want to see ID, so don't pretend that you're older than you are. And you've got, the Gates Hotel, you've got Fairfield Inn, the Marquesa, Opal Key, yeah, you've got the Hampton, you've got the Marriott. I mean, you've got all of the chains out in Newtown. And, you've got some available within Old Town and Midtown. And what I'm trying to say, though, is if you're coming for a very quiet, relaxing trip to Key West and it happens to coincide with a spring break, you probably don't want to be at one of the larger hotels like out in Newtown, because you're probably going to have a larger crowd and they're probably going to be a little more rambunctious than maybe you want. So then you're going to want to stick to a smaller place that, maybe a B&B, or rent your own condo over at Shipyard, so that you know that you're matching what you're expecting to your experience that you're anticipating. If you need certain amenities, make sure to check the listings or the hotel for the amenities that you want, like an outdoor pool or ocean view or shuttle services or free parking. That is a big thing. That's why I always say, if you have to and you can avoid it, please don't get a car, because it's going to be expensive to park and it's going to be hard to find parking. So again, kind of weigh out if it's going to be a college spring break week. Anticipate that you're probably at the larger place is going to have a little bit of a rowdier crowd. But if that's what your vibe is, go for it, book it, take care of it. Also, what you want to do when you're looking at booking, not only the timing and kind of the experience that you want, the amenities that you want, where do you want to be located to the attractions? Do you want to be within walking distance of Duval? Do you just want to be a block or two off of Duval so that it's not that far of a walk? Or do you want to be all the way at the end of the southern end of Duval, way off? Or do you want to be out in, off of Roosevelt and Newtown, and then you drive in? kind of figure out what kind of experience that you're going to want. Key West International Airport is centrally located, and so once you land, especially if you're not getting a car, you just take your luggage, and I always do carry on just for the fact that it makes my life easier. You just grab your luggage and then you flag down a cab, and cab fares from the airport are by zone. So depending on where you're going and what zone that happens to be in, that determines your fare. So again, I can't stress this enough. Not just during spring break time, but there are a lot of hotels, Airbnbs and Verbos that enforce age restrictions. You have to be of a certain age to check in, but you also have to be of a certain age maybe to stay there, because there are some adult only places, and so they don't allow children. So if you are traveling with people under the age of 18, make sure they can stay with where you've booked. So research all of that ahead of time so that there are no surprises when you show up. The good thing about spring break time, because it goes from end of March through mid-April, depending on when semesters are and Easter is. But spring break is usually a drier season. It's not during the hurricane season, so you don't have to usually worry about that. You usually don't get rained out too much, so that you can really plan and enjoy those outdoor activities. But if it is a peak week and the hotels, because a lot of these hotels price their rooms based on the expected demand for that time. So it's kind of like how the pricing for Uber and Lyft. Look at it from that direction. It's got this algorithm in their booking engines. And so if they think or understand that this is going to be a busy time, those prices are going to go up. And so just be aware that you may be paying more for it because they're perceiving it to be a busy week, which may be a clue. If that's not what you want, book another week. Like I said, you can explore beyond Key West, take a tour with Up the Keys. You can rent a car for the day, go explore, go explore what the Florida Keys are all about, because this is the time to go do that. And especially if you're traveling with people who haven't been there, take advantage of it. Show it off. Show them what you know. And for last, I just want you to understand, you are on vacation. It could be spring break and you're in between things, but make sure you enjoy your time fully. Relax. You're walking around under palm trees. You can have a cocktail in your hand. It's Margarita Beach House, Key West. It's absolutely Margaritaville time. So I encourage you to not steer away from Key West if it's spring break, and understand that spring break isn't necessarily a specific week. So it's not like New Year's or Christmas or Thanksgiving that it's a set week every year. It rolls with the timing of, like I said, semesters and when Easter falls and all of that. I have been in Key West for Easter, and it's not a bad time. It isn't a tremendously busy time, but you just be aware. It may be busier than an off week. And so you may pay more than you would, but just plan it out. And if that happens to be the only time that you can be in Key West, go for it. Enjoy it. Have fun. In the meantime, what I want you to do is head over to FunInKeyWest.com. Over there, you're going to find all kinds of information. First and foremost, I want you to sign up for our newsletter. That you can do that by getting our happy hour guide. And that gets you in the know, gets you up to date with what things are happening. If you can't find it or have problems signing up, let me know. Send me a DM and say, hey, Michelle, I can't find it. I don't know where to sign up. Be sure to let me know, and we'll get you on the list. If you haven't signed up for our Fun in Key West book club, sign up for that, because that's so much fun. And I've had information out and about for that. If you want more information about that, let me know. But there's also information over there on, where to stay, where to go, where to eat, where to drink. And also, I've put a whole list of all the travel partners that we work with, so you can book your trips ahead of time right there. One thing that I, want to make sure of, if there are things that you definitely want to do while you are in Key West, make sure that you book those before you get there. If you want to go fishing, if you want to go out to dry tortugas, because those are usually hot ticket items and that you're going to probably be sold out on. So you want to make sure you get those booked ahead of time. If it's a sunset cruise, or, glass bottom boat tour, jet skiing, parasailing, you can usually book those when you're there. But here's always my advice. If it's absolutely something that you are going to regret if you don't do while you are in Key West, book it first. So if there are any weather issues or any delays, you have time to reschedule it. The last thing you want to do is book one of those bucket list things on your last day and then you can't do it. That's my last tip for the day. In the meantime, it is First Timer Friday, and I gave you a whole lot of ideas what to expect in Key West for spring break. I hope that you have a great Friday, and we look forward to talking to you next week. Have a great one. Stay safe, everybody. I'm Michelle with Fun in Key West. Have a good one. Bye.